Welcome, General.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm glad that you pointed out that it's been 2 years since I've been here, and I have a quick opening statement, but I'd like to say that my daughter-in-law has forgiven you. If you remember 2 years ago, I sat here and I had a chance to introduce my family. And over to my left shoulder was my brand new grandson, Henry. Henry was a bit of a rotund child at about 6 months old, and you pointed out that he had not missed many meals. Most of us got a chuckle. My daughter-in-law did not get a chuckle from that.
Please ask her to accept my apologies. It's a beautiful grandchild.
Thank you,
Oops.
Chairman. But it is now part of the congressional record. Chairman McCain, Ranking Member Reed, and distinguished members of the committee, it's an honor and a privilege to be with you here today, representing the men and women of our United States Transportation Command. I thank you for your continued support of our dedicated professionals, all working together to provide our nation with a broad range of strategic capabilities and options. I also want to emphasize the vital role our commercial industry plays, what I call our fourth component in our success. It is worth noting, yesterday was the 30th anniversary of U.S. Transcom's core staff standing up at Scott Air Force Base, and we've been going strong ever since. 30 years of history. I can say confidently that your United States Transportation Command stands ready to deliver our nation's objectives anywhere at any time. We do this in two ways. We can provide an immediate force tonight through the use of airlift and air refueling fleets, and we can provide a decisive force when needed through the use of strategic sea lift and surface assets. You see it every time you read or hear the news. When North Korea increased its provocation of our Pacific allies, America responded with assistance. U.S. Transcom delivered that assistance in the form of missile defense systems, personnel, and support equipment, moving by sea and air 3,000 miles across the Pacific Ocean. When you read about America's brigade combat teams rolling through Europe, it was U.S. Transcom's ability to provide a decisive force to reassure European allies. When America needed B-2 stealth bombers to fly 11,000 miles from Missouri to Libya and back, it was our air refuelers that got them there. From national disasters to epidemics to acts of war, the men and women of U.S. Transcom are ready to deliver this nation's aid, assistance, and indeed hope to the world. These missions must execute without fail. All the while, these great professionals quietly manage a myriad of daily tasks around the globe, most of which Americans will never read about. It takes diligence, skill, and innovation to provide that kind of readiness for America, and the men and women of U.S. Transcom have never let us down. I am proud to serve next to them, and I say with confidence that our organization is ready to respond when our nation calls. That confidence, however, is not without concern. The environment we operate in today is increasingly complex, and we expect future adversaries will be all the more versatile and dynamic, forcing us to adapt, change, and evolve. Furthermore, we are viewing potential adversaries through a trans-regional, multi-domain, and multifunctional lens, properly understanding the potential threats posed by China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, as well as violent extremists, in a global context is of utmost concern for our future national security. In each of these scenarios, logistics plays a critical but often overlooked role. Today, U.S. Transcom is critically examining how we execute our logistics mission in the contested environments of the future, a space we haven't had to operate in, logistically speaking, for a very, very long time. We are exercising and wargaming these logistics scenarios, forcing planners of every ilk to account for transportation's vital role and for the first time, potential loss. Earlier this year, U.S. Transcom held its first ever contested environment war game, imagining a scenario where we didn't dominate the skies or own the seas. This war game uncovered a surprising amount of lessons learned, which we've already started to absorb. We've adapted our tactics, techniques, and procedures accordingly, but we still have work to do. I'm also concerned about our national strategic sea lift capability. Any further delay to the recapitalization of our military sea lift fleet creates risk in our future ability to deploy forces across the globe. These concerns are compounded further by merchant marine shortages and the reduction of U.S. flagged vessels. With today's resources, we are capable of meeting today's logistics needs. However, if we, together, don't take action soon, many of our military Sealift Command vessels will begin to age out by 2026. A significant portion of the DoD's wartime cargo capability moves on these ships. As a bridging solution, and with your approval, we can purchase used ships until we can build new ones ourselves. This won't solve the problem forever, and we will need your help for all of it. My final concern is the threat of attack from the cyber domain. Although cybersecurity is a DoD-wide focus area, U.S. Transcom is distinctly vulnerable because the majority of the command's transportation data resides within and travels through the unsecure commercial internet. Furthermore, unsecured networks and systems of our commercial transportation service providers, coupled with critical infrastructure requirements, almost wholly reside outside of our control. In light of these challenges, U.S. Transcom is focusing our cyber efforts on discipline, design, and defense in order to ensure we continue to accomplish our mission. The command is collaborating with U.S. Cyber Command, DoD agencies, federal cyber organizations, industry, and academia to identify and mitigate gaps and shortfalls, as well as to seize opportunities to advance our cyber resilience and improve mission assurance. I thank you again, Chairman McCain and Ranking Member Reed, and the members of the committee for inviting me to speak to you today to represent this 30-year-old command, U.S. Transcom. Our Transcom team will continue to provide joint solutions to ensure our nation is able to deliver an immediate force tonight and a decisive force when needed, anywhere in the world. I respectfully request my written testimony be submitted for the record, and I look forward to your questions.